Dr. Parijat De, Professor Renu Vej, Professor S.S. Patnaik, Dr. Alok Bhattacharya, Dr. S.B.L. Sachin, Shri G.B. Pandey, delegates to this 2 days conference, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers of this 2-day conference, and the name is very befitting, that is the Advances in Video, Cyber Learning and Electronics, and it is truly a convergence of various technologies. I was going through the brochure and it covers a gamut of technologies ranging from video program production, transmission, multimedia, web-based learning, then computer graphics, animation, ICT, biotechnology, nanotechnology, molecular technology, open source, cyber security, image processing, and the list is too long. I think these are the forum which therefore attract persons from different faculties to come and share their experiences. Professor Vij made a detailed account of the various technologies which are available and how they can all be employed in the knowledge world. So mine is just a slideshow which I'll just go through and tell you the same thing which contains the basic theme of this 2 days program. When I was contacted, I was not knowing that what exactly I will pick and choose, but in the morning when I was searching my pen drive, I could find this Tele academics, the technology and the applications. So mine is a repetition of what has been said, but only thing is you may enjoy some of the visuals. Well, the Tele knowledge actually, from myth to the reality, is something, the dream of anybody, right from the days of Divya Mahabharata, the Sanjay giving the coverage of the war and the story of Eklavya. The man's desire to listen from a distance, the radio, the television, the ICT, the virtual realities, and the landmark in the human history, if you see, the technologies which actually turned the complexion of the society, the agriculture, from wanderers to the settler, then the black gold, that is the invention of wheel and all those things, the mass transport, the invention of the electricity. If you minus the electricity in our life, nothing remains. Then the assembly line concept which gave the birth to the banking system, insurance system, the trading, the stock exchange and all, because huge amount of money was required for a mass production. And then comes the ICT and its many derivatives are continuing, and we have been witnessing all these changes, and today's theme actually account for the same development. There is a theme in the advances in the electronics, and if you see that how the things have changed over these years from the analog paradigm to the digital, and every time we are having the more and more package density, fast devices, faster computations, and then the high speed switching, the reduction in the our fabrication technologies to the sub-micron level. And if you go through all these development, the changing scenario what has been brought in the various technologies has been the basic changes that has taken place in the IC. The same was true in the telecommunication, right from the history scan is there to today's this Wi-Fi system. So the analog domain had witnessed many changes, and the invention of the fiber optics and so on, how it changed the complexion of the entire data transmission system, the digital domain, the data phone, the DSL modem, DSP, then various types of wireless technologies, mobile telephony, GSM, and broadband, and the Wi-Fi system. Again, there has been a phenomenal advancement in the field of computing. The real-time solution, the operating system, the application software, the developing environment, object-oriented programming, graphical programming, various type of languages, database, web technologies, inferential sensing and soft computing, and putting the front end, that means the sensor network, and today we talk of the computer network basically is a networking of the devices ultimately leading to the networking of minds. The SCADA system, the advanced mathematical support packages, embedded systems and all. Now if you look at this clearly, this is a very interesting feature. This is a typical hype diagram. In the vertical axis, what we have is a visibility. And in the horizontal, the x-axis, we have got a maturity. And you can see the technologies which has been given under the different, bullets. Now the rising curve actually is a high illusion, is a high science, something very catchy, something very innovative, nobody has thought of, and that brings lot of illusion, lot of excitement, lot of coverage in the newspapers, lot of coverage in the various journals and all those things, and reaches the peak, that is the peak of highest illusion. Then the curve descends, that is the descent of disillusions, the realities of life, transformation of a technology into a sustainable development, which was also said by Dr. Patnaik. And it slowly, then we meet, many of the scientists leave the technology and so, because the excitement has been got, papers have been published, lot of recognition has been made, lot of coverage and all, and you switch over to another technology and so you are always on the high lines. That is the line of academics, the line of high science. While the declining line actually is the engineer's paradigm and so on, how we transform science into a technology. And till it comes to the valley, you are no more discussed, you are talking of something which is obsolete, but there is no technology. And then comes the rising curve once again, after you have fought through all these troubles and all these, and to the plateau, and that is a paradigm where industry is waiting for you, because industry is the money, and the technology which cannot pass through this cycle will never see the light of the day. And therefore I have written, the plateau will be reached in less than 2 years, 2 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, more than 10 years, will never see the light of the day. So you see that what are the technologies which are ripening and which are about to be, and the technologies which we have discussed today in fact has already reached the plateau. But if you look at the journey while they were transforming by the way of convergence of many minds together and so on, and that's how is the cycle of any development process. Well, the birth of the tele paradigm, tele is an attribute which is given to telemedicine, the telepresence, the telemetry, the teleoperation, the telematics, the telebusiness, the services and all. And it has got a lot of, therefore, application potential in agriculture, the water management, defense, space, you name an area. And therefore, what we are discussing today is how this knowledge can be transmitted and shared, and getting the best mind made available to all concerned. So it is no longer a private paradigm, it has become a public paradigm. We call democratization of knowledge. That means there are actually certain difficulties which therefore forced us to learn. Good teachers are hard to find, because whenever we talk of quality, we have to depend on excellence. Platform to bring masses and experts together. Learners get authentic and consolidated knowledge. When we talk of a knowledge, when we see the Google, we are not caring how much is the garbage. The garbage in, garbage out. One way to dislodge one of the scientific work is downloading so many information into this network, and this may distract you also. Therefore, which information is authentic, good, can be relied upon, therefore is another important aspect, and therefore this authenticity of the knowledge is something of a paramount importance. Evolution of the geographical constraint, because it has already been covered, we want place independent and we also want time independence and so on. Anytime, anywhere, for anybody. So it's a multi-pronged approach for a tele-education. We were talking about the connectivity, Professor Vij already spoke on this, the tele-education delivery system, the universal tele-education system, the multi-classroom environment, seamless two-way connectivity, synchronized multimedia delivery, digital library integration, content management, internet resource availability, all these issues and so on. You find that all these technologies are automatically getting connected together to make these things happen. Now, let us look at this paradigm. There is a learner and there is a teacher. And the third thing is, what about the content? After all, these all technologies are a carrier to make the mind come closer to a learner. But what about the content? I think a lot of, therefore, high quality research is required in boosting the level of the content and all other things. And the way many new technologies are coming up, new subjects are opening up, interdisciplinary programs are coming, and unless they are linked together, what is the teacher and the content relationship, what is the learner and the content relationship, what is the learner and teacher, and how we therefore stabilize the entire closed loop system. Well, this is again very interesting. I would like to skip this, but I can just give a highlight. What we have in the x-axis is the change in the core components, that is the technological infrastructure and the content put together. After all, it's just like a carrier frequency and a modulating signal and all those things. So knowledge is a modulation which actually floats on this technology which reaches. So what is the content which we are talking on these technological channels? And the change in the learning related services, delivery models and all those things. So there is a technological innovation, there is a radical innovation, the technological and learning innovation, and then in the stakeholders are the learner, teacher, institutions, and you see that the subject is quite complex when you want to integrate all these together for the ultimate benefit of a society. So technological possibilities was also mentioned, various types of broadcast techniques, the video conference techniques, and the internet, the voice chat, the webcam, the talkback, the internet as a return link, telephone as a return link, online education through internet, nighttime loading and receiving, TV broadcast, and many more things will keep on adding, and all those things which is adding therefore strength to the entire system. There was mention about the virtual classroom. So there are live lecturing somewhere, and then there are other classroom as if it's a, and I mentioned in the previous slide, there are various ways by which we can have our connectivity. And look how this is going to make a sea change. The hype diagram again in tele-academics, therefore I took the same, that was on a technological. Again, if you see that various things which are happening, and I will not spend much time. That means the technology triggered, the peak of inflated experience, the disillusion when all applied to the tele-academic subject. And we are therefore at a present moment, we are talking of the knowledge grid, and this has also passed through this type of a cycle. If you look at one of the very success story of a tele-education has been the telemedicine, which has been actually implemented, reaching the unreachable, vaccination schedule, maternity care, blood bank, family planning, ambulance services, transportation. This is all, it has happened in this country. So hospital, the primary health centers information, life-saving drugs, doctors database, e-diagnosis, more than 400 platforms already in India. Major implementing agencies, the government and the private hospitals, DIT has a major program, and different projects are also covered, and the map actually shows where exactly all these activities are going on. Same are being applied for defenses, but which is highly secret. But in agricultural field, in business, there are already various centers for online trading and these things. So we find that this has actually penetrated into almost all walks of life. So tele-education in India has also gone through phenomenal changes. The TV radio broadcasting system, the Gyan Darshan, the Krishi Vani, the Krishi Darshan, the dedicated satellite, that is EduSat, the excellent telemedicine as I mentioned, then Krishi Vigyan Kendras, the educational institutions, Netversity, IGNOU is there, Yashwantara Chavan Maharashtra Open University, Tamil Nadu Virtual University, BITS, Symbiosis, IITs. So more and more players are actually joining into the whole stream, and how to make this a high quality education come closer to all concerned. So the tele-engineering concept, and so now how we can therefore decide, put it for the modernization of my Indo-Swiss Training Center. So we talk about the engineering, what about the shop floor level manpower. So human resource is something which due to certain reason was a bit neglected, but we have to therefore talk of the human resource at all level, not only at engineering level, but at a diplomas level, at a primary school level, secondary school level. I still remember almost 32 years ago when I was doing my research work in Germany, and I could see a primary school teacher salary was at par with a university professor salary. That means they had valued, if a wrong education is imparted at a primary level, it will be very difficult to eradicate that person and so on, and therefore the likelihood to turn into a strong personality will be remote, and that was a bit eye-opening to me because it was a reverse phenomena in our scenario. So therefore, before I end, the technology is the driver of the new economy and the human capital is its fuel. In today's world, not only does the knowledge make the difference in how an individual performs, but it also makes the difference in how well an organization performs, and of that matter, how well a country and so on. So therefore, we have to talk of a collective education system, although it begins at a grassroots level with the individual, but what is more important is the education at all level for factories, for defenses, for organizations, and how we knit into this is a mammoth task and so on, and any technology developed and so on will always fall short because of the mammoth requirement and all those things. So with these few words, now before, look at the interesting, the father is asking a little son, how was your first day in the kindergarten? And so, oh, they didn't have even a Wi-Fi. So that's how he's talk about. That means, see the change which has come over these few decades and the way we are landing, and what is more important is what content actually is going, because technologies are going to be much faster and all, and if we lack in the content and so on, so we may have to borrow even the content from abroad along with the technologies and so on. With these few words, I once again thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to just talk to you, and I'm very happy to be associated with you on this inaugural function, and I wish that these 2 days will be very exciting. There are a number of papers, as Dr. Patnaik was mentioning. I'm sure they will have a nice time together, and it will give them a memorable stay in Chandigarh. Thank you very much.